This is the A-iPower portable inverter generator. I picked it up for camping weekends and as a small backup for my home because I wanted clean power for electronics and something light enough to move without a second person. I was skeptical about the Yamaha engine label at first, since some brands throw logos on anything. From my experience, the engine pedigree does show up in how smoothly it runs and how little it sips fuel at lighter loads. On looks and feel, it's a tidy little box with a solid handle and a fully enclosed shell that keeps the noise down. The footprint is compact enough to slide next to a cooler in my trunk, and it's not a knuckle buster to carry from the garage to the driveway. The control panel is simple and clear. There's a big dial for off, run, and start, choke, a 120-volt 20A household outlet, a 120-volt 30A L530R for RV use, a 12-volt DC port for charging, and a USB port for phones and small gadgets. The eco switch is right there, and I keep it on when I'm not pushing the generator hard. The fuel cap is easy to reach, and the recoil starter pulls smoothly without that gritty, sticky feel some budget units have. The casing feels sturdy enough for gravel sites and the occasional bump in the truck bed. Using it day to day, the start routine is straightforward. I turn the dial to choke, one gentle pull, then push the choke off, and it settles into a calm purr. Warm starts are even easier. Key features that stood out right away are the clean output and the quiet tone at low to mid loads. Inverter means it's taking the raw power from the alternator and smoothing it into a stable 120-volt, 60 Hz sine wave. That's what protects laptops, TVs, routers, and phone chargers. The total harmonic distortion is under 3%, which in plain terms means your sensitive electronics won't see the dirty voltage spikes that cheaper open-frame generators can produce. Noise was a big concern for me. With eco on and a light load like a router, a couple LED lights, and a laptop, it's conversational quiet and sits around the low 50s dB by my phone meter at roughly 20 feet. When I kicked on heavier stuff, the engine ramps up. Running a 700 to 800 watt microwave or a shop vac pushes it into the low 60s, which is still reasonable for a campground if you're respectful about distance and hours. If you peg it near max, it gets louder, but it's a steady engine note rather than rattly clatter. Fuel use has been solid. With the 1.1-gallon tank, I get around 7 hours at about half load, and up to 9 to 10 hours at light loads when eco is doing its thing. That lines up with the specs and makes overnight fridge plus router duty realistic. The rated power is 2,000 starting watts and 1,600 running watts. Quick definition for anyone new. Starting watts is the short surge for kicking things on. Running watts is what it can sustain. It handles a fridge, lights, a CPAP, and a laptop without drama. A coffee maker or microwave is fine one at a time. The built-in overload light is handy. I tripped it on purpose when I tried to run a table saw and a big vac together, and the generator shut the output off exactly as it should. For RV folks, that L530R is a big deal because it plugs right into many 30-amp setups. But truth be told, most 13.5K BTU AC units are tough to start on 1,600 running watts unless you add a soft start kit. That's where the parallel capability helps. A-iPower actually includes the parallel cable, so pairing two units gives you the headroom you need for that AC. I haven't bought a second unit, but I tested the single unit with a soft start equipped AC, and it got the job done. Maintenance is where this generator asks a little extra patience. The closed case is great for sound, but it means you undo a side panel with a screwdriver to get at the oil. During break-in, I changed the oil early and then again at about 25 hours. And yes, taking that panel off each time is slightly annoying. Still, it's a small trade-off for a quieter design. I added a cheap hour meter to track service intervals. And I recommend that because all the key maintenance, oil changes, air filter checks, revolves around actual hours. In colder weather, I swapped to a 5W30 synthetic and had an easy start on a frosty morning. The low oil shutdown and overload protection both work as a safety net, which I prefer over guessing. What I like and where this really earns its keep starts with the power quality. In my opinion, the sub 3% THD is the reason my laptop chargers and camera batteries run cool and calm. The Yamaha 79cc engine has been the reliable heart here. It's steady, easy to start, and efficient at the lighter loads I use most often. The eco mode is not a gimmick. You can hear the RPM drop when the load drops, and you see the fuel savings at the end of a long evening. The weight is reasonable to carry without being a gym workout, and the handle balance is spot on. The control panel layout is idiot-proof in the best way, and having both the household outlet and the RV30A receptacle makes it flexible for a lot of setups. The included parallel cable is a thoughtful touch, and I appreciate not having to buy that separately. The USB and 12V outputs are nice for topping off phones or a battery pack, while leaving the AC outlet for the big stuff. From my experience, the noise profile stays neighbor-friendly if you're not hammering it. I do have a couple of quirks to call out. Getting to the oil fill and drain behind the panel slows down quick checks, and I wish there was a built-in hour meter to make maintenance tracking foolproof. Under heavy load, it's not whisper quiet, so placement matters if you're in a tight campground. Those aren't deal breakers for me, just things to know before you buy. It's perfect for campers, tailgaters, and anyone who wants a lightweight pickup. Clean power backup for home electronics, a fridge, and small tools. If you're an RV owner planning to run air conditioning, think about a soft start or plan to parallel a second unit. I'd recommend this for people who value clean power and portability over brute force wattage. The 3-year warranty, the engine lineage, and the included accessories make it feel like a smarter buy than a lot of bargain units. Key features you'll actually feel day to day are the clean sine wave output, the quiet tone at light loads, the RV-ready outlet, and the real-world fuel efficiency. In conclusion, the A-iPower portable inverter generator delivers where it counts for me: reliable starts, clean electricity for sensitive gear, honest runtime on a small tank, and enough outlets to handle camping, weekend projects, and short power outages. It's not a miracle worker for big AC loads by itself, but with the right setup, it scales up. If you're okay with grabbing a screwdriver for oil changes and adding a cheap hour meter, this is a dependable little workhorse that earns its spot in the trunk. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more hands-on gear reviews and drop your questions in the comments. Thank you for watching.